you can watch this and not even know what The Witcher is. It is such a self-contained story. And it is a fast sort of roadshow adventure. Yeah. It's very different tonally than The Witcher.
Welcome to Watch Mojo's Poppin' the Culture, your weekly entertainment check-in. Me, you know me, I'm your host with the most, Mojo. That's right, it's Mr. Hollywood himself, Matt Demers. Another amazing show coming your way, as always. I've got a little something for everybody, just in time for the holidays. We've got from The Witcher Blood Origin, one of the stars and the producers, they'll tell me all about it. Plus, Emily in Paris. I've got cast members and the creator of the show. Don't want to miss a minute of it. But first, as we do, here's your Hollywood headlines. All right, everyone, we begin with DC Studios' man in charge, James Gunn, as he is calling out uproarious and unkind reactions to his and partner Peter Safran's upcoming plans for DC Entertainment.
I don't deserve these powers, if I'm being honest. Like, what am I even contributing? Ow!
Yep, Gunn took to social media, again, to note that he and Peter's plans for the DCU are based upon what they believe is best for the story and the characters that we all know and love. He also says that disrespectful outcry will never, ever affect their actions.
He is not our enemy.
Not today. 20 years in Gotham, Alfred. We've seen what promises are worth.
Fan outrage boiled over when Gunn announced that he himself would be writing and directing a young Superman movie without Henry Cavill as the star. As a matter of fact, Cavill has announced that he's out altogether as Superman. Plus, there was the news that Wonder Woman 3 has been scrapped, and rumors that Gal Gadot and Cavill's cameos in the Flash movie have been erased. And, The Rock's movie Black Adam, well, that's all but a one and done at this point.
There's no one on this planet that can stop me.
All right, well, here to join me with his hot takes is Watch Mojo's very own Ricky Tucci. Ricky, we're starting again with the insanity at DC Studios. Your thoughts on, I don't know, all of it?
Yeah, man, it has been a wild ride these past couple of weeks. I've been on Twitter checking the hashtags, Fire James Gunn. He's been, to his credit, he's been open, but essentially all of DC is getting reshuffled at this point, right? So Wonder Woman canceled. Aquaman, we're not sure what's happening with that being recast. Cavill being told he's out as Superman. Just having everything flipped upside down. And on top of that, we have James Gunn saying, "Oh, I'm writing a Superman movie with a younger Superman," and a lot of fans just don't understand the logic behind a lot of this. And I am somewhere in between. Part of me believes that if you want to start a universe fresh, you have to start as fresh as you can. Another part of me believes that Cavill was obviously a beloved Superman, so to just kind of usher him out and say, "Oh, we're bringing in a new Superman and a younger Superman," it seems just a bit confusing for everybody involved. So, oh man, I'm gonna say that I'm more excited that everything is getting reshuffled because we've seen the Justice League, we've seen Wonder Woman 2 movies, we've seen it now, so we know what the old DCU looked like. Now I think it's time to go through the growing pains, but let James Gunn and Peter build out their universe, and we have to just give them a little bit of trust and faith to see where that goes. I mean, there's scandals everywhere too. Look, The Flash. I mean, everything is just up in the air. At this point, we can only just hope for the best.
It's not an S. On my world, it means hope.
Well, here it's an S.
Okay, Ricky, moving on to some surprising Pokemon news. That's right, it looks like the character Ash Ketchum and his adorable companion Pikachu will actually be leaving the hit animated series in the coming year. Say it ain't so.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test, to train them is my cause.
Oh yes, the greatest Pokemon trainer in the world will no longer be the star of the 25-year-plus ongoing series when Pokemon Ultimate Journeys concludes with 11 episodes in early 2023.
Use Thunderbolts! Our bond of friendship Shift Mega Evolve! Let's go!
Yep, a new Pokemon series will launch soon after, and two brand spanking new protagonists will be introduced, Liko and Roy.
Yeah, Pika Pika Pika, he's adorable.
You're adorable. They can't understand me, kid.
Okay, Ricky, what says you? Is it a mistake to drop Ash, or is it really time for a refresh at this point?
Yeah, Ash has been with Pokemon fans since the beginning. He was obviously my first Pokemon master, and I've kind of watched him grow up the way I've grown up over these past 25 years. So I think for older fans, and for just Pokemon fans in general, it's obviously a bittersweet. But they did him justice. He's the world champion. He's gonna have a nice send off, and he's gonna make cameos, and he's gonna be the elite trainer in a couple of seasons or whatever it is. So I think it's nice that they're restarting. They're getting new characters. They're starting for a new set of fans, a new story. And obviously, Ash and Pikachu's legacy are never going to go away. But I think after 25 years, it's warranted. It's time for a new master, a new champion to rise.
Okay, Ricky, moving on to some movie news, as Donald Glover is set to produce and star in the Spider-Man adjacent film based on Spidey's villain Hypno Hustler, but for real.
You ain't never done this before, huh?
Deactivate interrogation mode.
Okay, so the project is based on the obscure Spider-Man villain who first appeared in 1978 during the disco music scene. In the comics, the character is the leader of a band called the Mercy Killers, and they use hypnosis technology in the instruments to rob the audience. Okay.
Peter, what's going on?
I know this isn't real.
Do you though?
Ricky, is this movie really a good idea, or is it a waste? Because there are so many other Spider-Man villains that could get their own movie.
Yeah, look, they made Morbius, right? So Donald Glover is a proven talent. He obviously loves Spider-Man, and I think this is actually really an interesting opportunity because the way that Joker kind of with Joaquin Phoenix took a sidestep and did its own thing in its own universe, the way that the Batman has kind of done that, I think this is another opportunity outside of Disney and Marvel, or outside of Disney essentially, to really bring a character that nobody really knows and make it something unique and special. And Donald Glover is just hilarious. He's obviously done Atlanta, which is just great. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how I've never heard of this villain before, just to give you, and I think that's really good because it opens up the script, it opens up the playground for more creativity. Also, I think Eddie Murphy's son is on tap to write as well. So this is going to be a really, really interesting film and in the direction they take it. I for one, I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to seeing how they turn this unknown character into maybe a household name.
This is America. Don't got you slipping up. Look how I'm living up. Police be tripping up. Yeah, this is America.
Okay, last for us on this week's Hollywood Headlines, Ricky, is a look at Christopher Nolan's upcoming movie, Oppenheimer.
And they won't understand it until they've used it.
The anticipated film, which Nolan states was, without question, one of his most challenging, will star Cillian Murphy as a physicist who is known as the father of the atomic bomb.
I don't know if we can be trusted with such a weapon. But we have no choice.
The director also noted that in the movie he recreates the explosion of a nuclear bomb without using CGI. Wait, what? Ricky, I love me some Christopher Nolan, so I personally can't wait. But what are your thoughts on this movie, and what about that recreation of a nuclear bomb-ish? Is he going too far, maybe as a director here, or what?
Yeah, I mean, this is Nolan we're talking about, right? When he does things, he doesn't go by the book. He creates new paradigms in the way he shoots and the way he he thinks. And so I'll just start off. I am insanely excited for this film. I think this is Cillian Murphy's Oscar winner.
Yeah.
He deserves it, and he is amazing. Obviously, a biopic with themes that are really resonating, I think, now more than ever, with all the stuff happening in the world and the implications of nuclear war. And yeah, I totally think that Nolan hasn't detonated a nuclear bomb, so he hasn't gone too far
yet.
But I'm a the sequel. But I'm a big fan of pushing the boundaries of cinema in ways that people haven't thought of before, and creating new ways to do things. And if you can do that in a safe environment, and if you can do that in a way that's more compelling than just CGI, I say go for it, because we have CGI everywhere, and it's kind of an easy button. And I appreciate Nolan wanting to take it a step further and recognizing the gravity of the film and the characters that are going to be in this film. So super, super, super hyped up for this movie. Really cannot wait to see how it turns out. And I have a lot of faith in Nolan and Cillian Murphy and the rest of the team.
Hey, Ricky, I can't thank you enough for helping me break down all those Hollywood headlines today.
Always a pleasure. Anytime.
But you can't go anywhere, because you know the deal by now. We got to take the trip. And the trip is
Beyond the List.
Hey, Ricky, you know what we do. We go in the archives of Watch Mojo. We pluck out a top 10 list. We go beyond the list. What does that mean? It means me and you just get to riff on it a bit. I didn't have to go too far for this latest one, because we are right at the end of the year. So I thought we would look at a list that had to look back, I guess, at some of the best things. Now, I thought this would be fun. We could have done TV. We could have done the best video games or movies. But why not look at the best villains? That's right. Those fictional villainous characters from the past year. I love me a good villain.
Oh, it makes a show. It makes or breaks a show for me.
Right?
You need a good villain. You need,
right?
Because if the main character doesn't have a compelling force, what's the point?
Exactly. Look at all the biggest superheroes and look at their rogues gallery. They've always got the strongest rogues gallery. Spider-Man, Batman. I mean, the villains are key to that story. So you're absolutely right. So these were the best ones that came our way in the year 2022. I think we're going through TV, movies, different genres. I don't think we're tapping into video games or anime, but we'll find out. Okay, let's get into it, Ricky. Here we go. Number 10. Refresh my memory. You were watching House of the Dragon, right?
Absolutely, every week. Yeah.
Okay. So what do we got? We got the Lord Larius Strong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Great. He's the little finger of this series. The master manipulator, the foot lover. He's a great villain. He's so unassuming and conniving and just lurking in the background and just playing 4D chess, you know? So yes, he was, it's nice to see that we got someone pulling the strings as per usual in King's Landing.
Yeah, it's great. I was pleasantly surprised with House of the Dragon and how it was a bit of a return to form, if you will, for Game of Thrones after that disastrous final season.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. So yeah, and I'm glad they've got a nice villain in their series. The other show that we always kind of compared it with here on this podcast was the Rings of Power on Amazon. And on the flip side, I'll be honest, I haven't finished that series.
I didn't watch it, you know. I've heard, the audience has one thing, the critics say another. I'm just not pulled in by the world, I guess. Right? Maybe it'll change, but right now, I don't know.
I was told to stick with it. Maybe I'll give it another go, but for my money, House of the Dragon wins that war this year. We'll see what happens next. Number 9 here on our villains. Okay, this is interesting. This is coming from a movie. The movie is called Nope. Jordan Peele's latest horror film, and the villain's called Jean Jacket. Now, this was the big bad. This is the one that, spoiler alert, was sucking up people and spitting them out. It was really intense. I really enjoyed that movie, and I really enjoyed this kind of villain, I guess.
Yeah, it's such a cool take on the alien genre. You have, a lot of them, you have these little green men or whatever coming down, or these horrifying creatures, but this is really just an apex predator mixed with like a ship. And I love this kind of jellyfish underwater aesthetic, because I mean, these are things that we see in nature, and to see it like flying above us, kind of like a stingray sucking up people, was terrifying and made for some really great scenes. So yeah, a very cool villain, one that I didn't expect to see this year.
No, me neither. And I really enjoyed that movie, Nope. So I hope Jordan Peele's got another great little horror film up his sleeves next. But also in that same movie, a villain, I guess, would be that monkey.
Yeah, it's the monkey.
Right?
Yeah, he was. That was also. What the heck happened? That was so interesting too, because the movie starts off that way with this kind of like ominous scene, and then you find out what happens. So, just Jordan Peele just dropping in memorable, crazy things.
I'll never look at them the same when I go to a zoo. Like again. All right, moving on. Oh, this is a fun one. Number 8. Hey, number 8. I would have put this maybe a little closer. Watch Mojo. We'll see what tops Scarlet Witch, especially in Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. That was quite the villainous portrayal, especially when she takes out the Illuminati.
Oh my God,
that was
horrifying.
That was great.
It just shows you how she's really held back all these years, Wanda, and how bad it could have really been if she wanted it to be. She was absolutely brutal in that movie, and that if anything taught you to fear the Scarlet Witch, it was taking out other universes, Avengers, essentially. I mean, how do you stop her? She had to stop herself in the end.
What's also great about the Scarlet Witch in that movie is that she had a really great motivation. You understood where she was coming from, so they wrote it really well, and they set it up obviously with the WandaVision series.
Exactly.
Which was fantastic. But you really knew where she was coming from. I don't want to say it was all justified, but there
was empathy there. She did it for the kids. She's doing it because she lost her husband. She's not malicious in that sense.
Yeah, but she could be absolutely brutal. So that was fantastic. Scarlet Witch. What's the actress? Olsen, right? Elizabeth Olsen?
Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah. Oh, she's great. She's great in that role.
She's fantastic.
I loved it. I think they're doing a WandaVision 2 second season.
I did hear something. I heard rumblings about that. I'm not sure the premise, but I heard rumblings about it. Yeah.
I was just thinking to myself, how would they pull that off? Because I really did enjoy that first season. Okay, number 7 on our list. This is from the show Severance. You watch Severance?
I watched the first episode, and I've been meaning to finish it. But it just so many things came out during the season that I just so many things were just pulling me away from it that I didn't get a chance to finish it. But I heard really good things about it.
This is one of those shows that, I think as you go on, and there's not too many of them. It's Patricia Arquette playing Harmony Cobell. That's the character, and I totally agree. A great villain, and she's a great actress in her own right. This is one that you can find on, I think it's Apple TV. Yeah, Apple TV Plus.
It's Apple TV.
There's so many streaming services.
There's so many shows, so many streaming services out there. But definitely something I have to maybe check out over the holidays. I kind of left it behind.
And I know I kind of gave a spoiler for Nope, but I don't want to, because Severance has such a great little premise, and there's such great little revelations as you go through, especially as it relates to her being the villain. So I don't want to ruin it too much. I think if people go in with a blank slate, if you haven't seen it, but those that know, Harmony Cobell. So there you go. Number 6, here we go. Back in the superhero genre. How could we leave out Namor?
Yes.
Whoa, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. That was impressive. I got to say, I dug it. I dug that performance and that iteration of that character a lot.
100% there with you. They didn't, like with all great villains, they didn't just make him evil. No. He had a people to care about. He had a purpose. He'd been wronged. He has every right to hate the people living on the surface. And at the end of the day, he wanted what was best for him and his people, and to protect his people. And so all the villains born out of this necessity, not out of hatred, not out of anger, but out of this want to protect and preserve, are always so much more compelling. And I think they really did a great job tying in all of the history of colonization and how it affected Wakanda, how it affected I don't want to call that Atlantis. I don't know what it's called.
I think it is Atlantis, isn't it? Yeah.
It's called something else, but for all intents and purposes, it's Atlantis. But yes, essentially a great, well-written, well-rounded character.
It really was. And I thought going in, I'm like, oh no, Namor, could be a lame character, right? Like a Aquaman ripoff, if you will.
Yeah.
He's got wings on his ankles, okay? But the performance and the way, as everything you just said, the way he was written made him a formidable foe. And I really dug it. I really dug it. So good stuff. Okay, number 5 on this list. Here we go. One of my favorite performances of the past year, that being the Riddler from the Batman, Paul Dano.
Paul Dano, what a great! I mean, he's just incredible. Everything he just did the Fabelmans.
The Fabelmans.
He did he did There Will Be Blood. I mean, he's just a world class actor.
Yeah.
And and he can act with the eyes and with he has this kind of intense, insane mania to him.
I believed him. I believed him in this movie as like this nerdy outsider, obsessive, tormented, but super smart. And it was so layered. It was so great. And that movie, by the way, The Batman, that tops my list of best films.
I'm right there with you. A great detective movie.
I mean, everyone's kind of saying who will be the villain in the next one. They are doing a next one, thank God. James Gunn, don't cancel this. You got a great franchise on your hands here. But we teased the Joker in that movie, which was an interesting take. Who would you like to see as maybe not the Joker, but as another villain? Because that's what everyone's kind of debating online.
Oh man. The new Batman villain. Well, Mr. Freeze, I think everybody's kind of wondering who's going to replace Arnold as Freeze, and Dr. Freeze is a great character. Obviously, Poison Ivy as well. So I really want to see who's going to be Freeze. At this point, I have no idea because maybe they'll just go a completely different direction, right? Arnold's Freeze is a bodybuilder. I don't think the next Mr. Freeze is going to be an action star, but something in the vein of Paul Dano, a disturbed. Who's just maybe trying to cool off the planet and stop global warming or whatever it is. So there's a lot of interesting. I would love to see Mr. Freeze.
I'm right there with you because I think that character is really interesting. And if you just know him from the Batman and Robin, you're like, what? That is the cheesiest because he's got the one-liners and one dimension. But if you watch Batman the animated series, right? And I think they kind of reinvented the backstory there, but it's really well done. And I feel like that we need the live action iteration of Mr. Freeze done right.
Right. Yes.
Could be fun to see him in that world, how they do it.
Yeah.
Hyper realistic and stuff. Yeah, that'd be cool. Okay, let's move on. We're at number 4 here. This is from a show called The Boys. I laugh because I love this show. And thinking back to all the insanity that happened last season. A lot of it had to do with Soldier Boy. And Soldier Boy is number 4 on this list. Yes. To have someone rival some of those other characters on the show that were already established, like Homelander, I mean, that's an impressive feat.
Yeah, Homelander, arguably the most terrifying villain in The Boys, just because you never know what he's gonna do. You never know what he's gonna do, right? Is he gonna be benevolent? Is he gonna laser you to death? You don't know. And to have someone legitimately strike a modicum of fear in him. To manhandle him the way he was manhandled, and obviously Jensen Ackles is just such an imposing presence.
Yeah, that was great casting.
And he's got this old school, obviously misogynistic asshole, very patriotic, this and that, but played perfectly to the T to challenge Homelander and everything. And you honestly feel bad for Homelander by the end of it.
I know.
You feel bad for Homelander, and that is so for the writers to make you feel bad for Homelander. They're doing something right.
I was gonna say that's such a great character, a Homelander, because he's such an ass. He's killed so many people, there's this conflict. When he lasers that guy, and then the crowd kind of cheers him on,
just starts cheering,
and you see the wheels turning in his head, and he smiles. Like, it's so great. They pull it off so well. I love that character, and I love that show. I can't wait. And they're doing a spinoff. Did you hear about?
I heard about the school. Yeah, it's kind of like a school or
it's gonna be like an X-Men type,
an X-Men Degrassi meets The Boys. I'm 100% down for that. That would be awesome.
They're great. Yeah, that's a great little show on Amazon Prime Video, another streaming service. Okay, here we go. Number 3. I'm curious if you saw this movie, and if you didn't, Ricky, you got to put it on the top of your must-watch list, and that goes for everyone out there as well. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Man, this one blew me away. Just a total mind trip. The villain in here, Jobu Tupaki, and I may have mispronounced it, but yeah, great movie, great character. Absolutely agree.
What a crazy premise too. And I think it's leading right now with like 14 nominations at the Oscars.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's getting lots of
award
love.
And as it should. It's so inventive. It's so creative. It plays on so many themes, themes of family, themes of immigrants, people, themes of finding your way in this world. Yeah. And it does it in a way that that just completely throws you off, and that you would never expect from a film. So obviously the villain, I won't spoil anything, but it's really well done by the end. And you start to understand how everything comes together. Totally worth the 14 nominations. I hope it wins.
Yeah, no, definitely. I went in kind of with a blank slate on this. Like I saw a little bit of trailers and clips on YouTube, right, and I didn't really understand. And I went in the theater. And my mind was like doing this by the end. I was like, whoa, so great. Yeah. Do yourself a favor if you haven't seen it, do it. Number 2 on this list. Okay, I don't know if I agree that this should be number 2. It's a good character. It's a good introduction in the horror genre because we have so many great horror villains. Watch Mojo has put Pearl. Now Pearl was in 2 movies. She had a big role in 2022. One being X. That was the one that came out first. But then there was the prequel, Pearl. Yes. So in X you had the older.
Exactly.
Very older Pearl.
Very old. I didn't know it was also played by the same actress, by Mia Goth.
That's crazy.
I just found that out like recently, and I'm like, what? That already there is really cool that they got her to do that.
Very cool.
And, I haven't watched Pearl. I haven't watched the prequel, so I won't be able to say. But I watched X. Terrifying.
Yeah. They're both great. They're both great. Pearl's completely different, and it's done really stylized, and they kind of play up, but it's still very terrifying. But yeah, absolutely great horror character. But number 2, Scarlet Witch. I don't know. The Riddler. I don't know.
We disagree, respectfully.
Watch Mojo. We do love our horror. Let's see if any other horror villains make our honorable mention list. Let's take a look here. We did. We've got Steve Brendan in Fresh. Do you know what this movie is? Fresh. Okay.
I do not.
Sebastian Stan. Is the character, and he's I'm trying not to spoil it, but he's got a particular taste for certain things.
I can see.
It's a great movie. Yeah, it fell a little under the radar, I found. I think you can find it on Disney Plus, but yeah, it's called Fresh, and it's a great little
I'll keep it in
thriller,
mind.
very campy, and Sebastian Stan's so fun. Okay, here we go. Another horror villain. The Predator in Prey. That was a fantastic movie.
So good. So good. I've been reading, people are saying they should just put Predator in every time period. Put him in Japan and have the samurais fight him. Just do and people will eat that up.
I will.
Because it's so cool to watch. It's so cool to watch, in this case, like the indigenous and the natives use their own methods that they've been using for hundreds and hundreds of years to trap this ancient beast who's so much more advanced. What a great film. And again, on Disney, just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, no, that was a great film. Okay, we're in honorable mentions here, folks. These aren't our number 1 picks. The Grabber from the Black Phone. Yeah, that was pretty terrifying. That was Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke, sitting there on his chair, half naked. Oh, man. A sight that I will never get out of my head. Terrifying. Horrifying movie.
And that mask. That was a great little horror thriller. Yeah. Supernatural horror. Great stuff there. We got some more honorable mentions. Queen Gudrun from The Northman. Oh, yes. Of course. Nicole Kidman's character. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I haven't watched The Northman, but again, heard fantastic things about it.
You haven't seen The Northman?
I have not seen The Northman.
You got to watch. Yeah.
I know. I heard.
It's the Viking a revenge story to beat all kind of Viking revenge
Really?
Stories. Man, it's so great. It's got elements of Shakespeare in there.
I've heard great things. So it's on the watch list.
Also in here is Sully from Bones and All, Mark Rylance. Unsettling.
Yeah.
He's that's a cannibal love story with Timothy Chalamet.
Right. Yeah, that's such a great movie for him to do. Cannibal Love Story. Another one I haven't seen, but I've heard good stuff about. Maybe I'll check that out too. We'll see.
Yeah, Rylance is great, and I agree that he deserves a spot on the honorable mentions. But who is the best villain of 2022? Ricky, it is. Well, it could only be Vecna. Vecna from Stranger Things. Yeah, and no arguments about that number one spot. Watch Mojo. I think that was just a great villain who cemented himself in his look is now instantly recognizable. The name is so great because you hear that and you're automatically picturing everything that happened. Really great stuff. I love the backstory. I love the look. I love, that scene.
The payoff was so good after all of these years trying to figure out who's talking to 11, who's pulling all the strings. And you have this great little backstory, and then you have this reveal and kind of all this exposition about how the Upside Down and all of this is came to be. And I loved it. I loved it as somebody who's been watching Stranger Things from the beginning. I really appreciate the vision that the Duffer Brothers had in leading us up to this moment. So yeah, definitely breakout villain of 2022. No questions asked, hands down.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that they clearly pulled from other villains out there and kind of made them added to the character. You got a lot of Freddy Krueger in there, that kind of stuff. So really, really fun and really well done. I can't wait for that final season, Stranger Things. How are they going to top it? I thought that last season was probably my favorite of the bunch.
They're going to find a way. They're going to find a way because we're going to be diving deep into the Upside Down now, not just the surface. So we're going to be discovering a lot more. Last season was the introduction to this whole crazy world, and now we're really going to hunker down in the next one. So, yeah.
I want more of what's Finn Wolfhard's character? His
Mike.
Yeah, I want more of Mike's dad.
Yes, yes, I know.
The most random character. Yeah, I want more of Mike's dad in that final season. There you
go. He needs his own side story. The mom got such a great one, He just kind of got left in the dust.
So fun. All right, speaking of fun, Ricky, it's always a blast having you here on the show. I wish you a very happy holidays and a happy new year, of course.
That's right. Happy New Year. Happy holidays to everybody. Always a pleasure. And we will see each other in the new year for another one of these, I'm sure.
Absolutely. But we're going to keep that fun going because right now it is time for our Mojo Chats of the week. And we're starting with one of the stars and the producers of The Witcher, Blood Origins.
It all began 1,200 years ago. In the Elven Golden Era, before the arrival of humans and monsters in the world.
There will be blood. The Witcher Blood Origin is upon us. I'm very excited. I know Witcher fans are foaming at the mouth. It's finally here. Who better to tell us about it than the big cheeses, the showrunners, the
Grand
big bosses.
Camembert. Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Declan, let's start with you because there's so much mythology out there. To pull from the books, the video games, the show, obviously on Netflix. Where does this story come from?
It comes from the bit that I fell in love with Sapkowski's books, which is the underdogs, the elves, who are beaten and on the bones of their arse and barely surviving. And, I was just fascinated by how did they fall from, their great heights, and what was that great height, and how did that lead into the conjunction of the spheres? And I want to paint the world, which we did with the writers, where it's surprising in that you get to see an elven world that you're not expecting. But when you see it, you go, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And it all plays out. So that was the sort of motivation for it.
Lauren, there's got to be a bit of a juggling here to please the hardcore Witcher fans, right? Who are very vocal out there. But then you've got people that might want to check it out that don't know anything. Is this show for both? Can you please both?
Oh, I absolutely think you can please both. Listen, our fans, I would call them passionate. They are very vocal. They know what they love. They know what they don't like. And I think that what this show has given us is it's based on something that Sapkowski tells us about, the conjunction spheres, but he doesn't go into any details. He just sort of leaves it out there hanging. It's very mysterious. So I think that will attract people who love the books, because this is an event that you need to understand to know how the world evolves. Then we get, this close-ended story that Declan is talking about, all new characters that aren't in the Witcher world. And I think that will also be great, because these are not characters that fans say have already decided what they look like, what they sound like, who they are in their heads. This is a product of Declan and the writer's imagination. My favorite thing, though, probably is that you can watch this and not even know what The Witcher is. It is such a self-contained story. And it is a fast sort of roadshow adventure. Yeah. It's very different tonally than The Witcher. And hopefully you get there, you watch it, you meet Jaskier, which is amazing, and you go, hey, I want to come learn more about this other show too.
Which is a nod, to the Sapkowski books, because these early books, he wrote these close-ended stories that exist by themselves. And you might not know the world of The Witcher, but you could live inside these little stories, little vignettes he told. So we're just doing the bigger version of that.
Amazing. Well, I can't wait to get involved and get my binge on. We got 4 episodes over there on Netflix. Make sure you all check it out. Thank you so much for your time today, guys.
The people will always choose order, no matter the cost.
We're talking The Witcher Blood Origin. Witcher fans, get excited. This one is fantastic, and who better to tell me more about it than one of the stars? Mirren, tell us all about the Empress. What can we expect out of your character?
So Merwin, and hello, nice to meet you first of all, sorry. Merwin is a princess born into this patriarchal monarchy where her destiny is already signed, sealed, delivered. She is to be a marriage pawn. She's to go off and she's to form alliances, but she's not to have a voice, she's not to have opinions, and not to be able to have a part in changing the world for the better, which is everything she wants to do. She escapes through history, through her hero Solwith, who was a queen warrior who conquered the continent that she now lives on. And so she wants and aspires to more than what she's been dealt in her life. And everything that she does is to achieve that. And she goes hard on trying to escape world that the card she's been dealt.
She definitely does go hard. That's a bit of an understatement for sure. As an actor in these kind of fantasy worlds, that's kind of fun. I would assume to kind of play in that sandbox. What was your favorite part about being in the series? Was it whether it's wardrobe or interactions, or I don't know? You tell me.
Well, I think it's so everything that I remember just standing at one point being. I think I was actually maybe sitting on a horse at this point, being dressed in this beautiful garments, this makeup and hair, looking around the most gorgeous set. I was in the middle of Reading, but it looked like I was in, I don't know, just a totally different world completely. And I just thought there are so many immense creative people around here putting their magic into making this world. And so I really was it felt like I was in sort of Disney World. I was just gobsmacked at everything, bedazzled by it.
Absolutely. Well, audiences can get bedazzled when they tune in to The Witcher Blood Origin over there on Netflix. Thank you so much for your time today, Mirren.
You're a bard. I am a storyteller. I need you to sing a story back to life.
Are you sure you've got the right man for this?
All right, well, it's now time for my chat with some of the cast members and the creator of the hit Netflix series, Emily in Paris. They're back for season 3. Take a look.
I was beginning to wonder if you were joining us at all.
I'm so in on team whatever this company's called.
We are talking the ultimate escape. It's back. Fans can rejoice. Season 3 or saison 3 of Emily in Paris is finally upon us, and I got Lucas and Darren to tell me all about it. Lucas, start with you. Give us the evolution of your character now. We've got 3 seasons. The hot chef, as the internet has dubbed you. How has your character evolved in this 3rd season?
Well, I believe, from my point of view, that Gabriel was a bit lost at the beginning of season 1. He had an idea of what he wanted, but I don't think he had an idea of how to achieve it. Camille gave him tools to achieve his professional dream, but he still wanted to achieve it on his own. He wants to be independent. So he doesn't know what to choose. He doesn't really own up to his mistakes. He's a bit of a man-child. When Emily arrives, he just jumps into this idea of love. So everything's a bit messy, but he's, like an Aries, he just jumps in the pool and I learn how to swim later. So he's really led by his feelings and his heart, which I respect, but it can get messy. And throughout the seasons, he's gonna go through a transitional phase and just start becoming the man he wants to be and make stronger choices.
Absolutely, Darren. Let's switch to you. You're kind of the king of these really great guilty pleasure addictive shows. Give us the cliffhanger count, because Emily in Paris has a lot of great ones. Are fans going to be on the edge of their seats here at the end of particular episodes?
No, I hope they're. I feel like the wonderful thing about binging on Netflix is that there's a number of cliffhangers built into this series, but you can just go next episode and get that instant gratification. But there will be some cliffhangers left at the end of season 3 that we'll have to wait for season 4 to resolve.
Well, it's a good thing we have season 4 already locked in, which is fantastic. Okay, I've never been to Paris, and I kind of live vicariously through these characters, which is really fun, and the fashion and everything. Give us a do and a don't. Lucas, start with you. You I don't know if you're living there permanently.
I am.
But
yes.
Okay, this is great. If I go to Paris, give me one thing that I should definitely do and one thing that I should definitely not do.
I'm really bad at this. I need to take a while to think about my answers. You should definitely try to, have a little moment sitting at a cafe and read the press, have a little coffee and interact with people, and maybe smoke a little cigarettes. Why not? Why not? And what you shouldn't do, you shouldn't go there with the idea that French people do not like Americans. Because I heard that many times from people coming to Paris, like, oh, I'm sorry, I know you don't really like Americans, which is quite the opposite. There's a fascination for America, so you should really go there confident, try your French, and see where it goes, because French people are nice.
Absolutely. Okay, Darren, I'm trying to kickstart a rumor. Maybe you can help me that Melrose Place is coming back. I think I just want Heather Locklear on my TV screen.
Well, I would say when Heather wants to do it, we'll start it rolling.
I don't know if you've seen her daughter, but it's like a spitting image of her.
Yes,
I'm starting the petition. You'll get
Good,
it.
I love it.
I'll send it over to you. All right. In the meantime, we've got Emily in Paris to look forward to, which is fantastic stuff over there on Netflix. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great talk to you.
Oh, God, no.
Sylvie wants to see you in her office right away.
Is she really mad?
I wish I will.
We are talking Emily in Paris for its third season, saison 3. And yeah, right? I practiced all.
Yes, perfect.
I was up all night. No, Samuel and Bruno are gonna help me break it down. Samuel, start with you. Give us the tease related to your character. What's that one thing that you think audiences are really going to get excited about?
Well, I think that the audience is gonna really, really love to see Julian in another light and in a totally different color this season, and he's gonna fight for himself, stand for himself, and bring the show to a whole nother level, I think.
I love it. I love we're going to different levels, guys. Third season we gotta rise to the occasion. Bruno, what about you? Where's your character at in season 3?
In season 3, the character of Luke, you will discover his private life for the first time, where he live, and the past of the relationship of Luke. You will discover so amazing things.
Amazing. I can't wait to discover this. All right. So the show is great for a lot of reasons. People just, they love to escape in it for all kinds of different drama, relationships, characters. One of the things that other people enjoy about it is the fashion, right? We're in Paris. And you guys, by the way, you guys look fantastic today. I don't know if you can say, but do you keep any of your?
I myself would love to, but
Me
like
too.
I stopped for a second and I was like, if I wear those in my personal life, it's like I'm cosplaying as Julian, you know, because it's so iconic. You know what I mean? But so I do not keep them, but I inspired myself from my character, and as you can see, in real life, I try to be as bold as he is.
Actually, I could wear the clothes of Luke in my real life. So I ask, and they say me, no, it's not possible because we have a season 4. So I have to wait.
There you go. All right. I've never been to Paris, and I really want to go, and I live kind of vicariously through these characters, which is fun. I've been asking this. Give me a do and a don't for someone that goes to Paris. What's something that we should absolutely do, and what's something that we probably shouldn't?
Do
Bruno?
You have to do absolutely to go in the area of the center of Paris named Le Marais, because it's very wonderful, small streets, old palace, many cafes, many bars, very beautiful atmosphere. And you don't have to talk with the Parisians, because I'm joking. I have to think about don't do, but
No, I think that you can basically do everything as you do in the States. You know, it's all about like respecting the culture, respecting the locals, and like, I mean, just common sense, I guess. Just and you have a great time, because like Paris is a beautiful city. The Parisians are actually nice people for real in your life. So you'll have a blast if you come to Paris.
All right, I'm gonna book the trip. Samuel, you have some of the best facial reactions on television. Your death stare is mint. What's the secret to giving the look, those looks you give?
Honestly, I don't think of it when I do it. I think that it comes from the guts. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like it tried to translate the way the character feel it, and it's so sassy and it's so extrovert that you can read. You know, that's the kind of person that you bring to dinner, and you can just read everything on his face. Like, so if he doesn't like you, you're like, well, this guy doesn't like me, because like it's written on his face, and he's this kind of guy. Yeah, I think it's just being an extrovert, I guess.
Well, you nail it. Okay, Bruno. Last question. We're gonna watch season 3 at home. We've got it set up on Netflix. What's the pairing? What should we pair with it? Is it a food? Is it a drink? What do we What do we consume while watching you on TV?
Popcorn. You have to eat popcorn.
I disagree.
Yeah, what do you think?
You gotta have some,
whiskey,
plates of cheese and ham, and little like a apéro. We call it an apéro.
Yes.
Like cheese, ham. If you drink maybe a little bit of wine, have a blanket, have your loved one next to you. You know what I mean? And just nibble while going through the entire season in one sitting.
There you go. The binge is on, but we'll have popcorn there too. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Popcorn is okay, I guess.
Get it all, but get it done for Emily in Paris, season 3 on Netflix. Thank you so much, guys.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
So, Cooper, where's your head at?
You changed my life.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this edition, everybody. Big thanks going out, of course, to my man, Ricky Tucci. Love having him here on the show. And, of course, everyone involved in The Witcher, Blood Origin, and Emily in Paris Season 3. Make sure you check out all those great shows over the holidays. And, of course, I want to give a big thanks to you for watching and listening. Listen, Happy New Year, everybody. We'll see you again next week. And we've got some exciting news coming your way. Stay tuned.